Hello everyone, welcome to Oulton Park. It's the first of two visits this season for the Fun Cup Championship. JPR Uvio arrive here as the championship leaders after the double champions sealed victory in the opening round at Brands Hatch. But there were lots of hard luck stories there. Apollo Motorsport, after a good start, dropping out of the race with engine problems. Last year's vice champions, Team Viking, lost 10 laps when they went into the gravel trap at Paddock Hill Bend. And DispatchBay.com, who led most of the race, suffered problems with their wheel bearing to drop them right out of contention. Everybody gets to drop one round this season, but for those teams in particular, the season is already on a knife edge. We've got another bumper entry of 27 cars for round two of the championship this weekend. And it's been great to see a number of new teams joining the fray this season, so we caught up with some of them earlier today.
At TfL, successful historic racer Richard Mines teams up with his son Jack, a novice who only sat in the car for the first time during qualifying.
Yeah, I got the train up last night from work, and then about half an hour ago was my first time in the car around this track. So it was good fun. Knocked about 10 seconds off the time from start to finish, but still got a way to go before catching up to the front guys.
It's a completely different car to what I'm used to, but I was really surprised by the level of grip. You know, you look at the car, you don't expect it, and obviously, you know, it hasn't got a lot of top-end speed, but cornering speeds are really something.
The pair are joined by pro driver Andrew Bentley, who's helping to coach Jack.
We work on the data in the video, and it's brilliant for a novice driver to be able to sort of see what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and how we can make them better. And ultimately, and that's what you need in a championship like this. Really enjoying the dynamic. It's a great team. TfL are great fun. It's just a brilliant championship.
Morgan Tilbrook and Jonathan Curry have entered their first season of Fun Cup in the JPR Alpha racing car.
I think this year is about learning, finishing as much races as possible, getting as much track time under our belts, learning how to do pit stops. So yeah, we're confident, but we also want to make sure we don't create any enemies on the circuit. So we need to be respectful of our standard versus some of the guys out there.
Morgan and I are rookies. This is our first racing in anything as well. So learning how to race amongst other drivers has also been pretty challenging, but great fun.
What about the pit stops? How's that been?
Easy, not a problem at all. We got a lot of work to do.
DispatchBay.com were fastest in qualifying, but the random grid draw places Team Truman's on pole, with Jonathan Hode taking the start in the 170 car. Alongside, Charlie Kennedy starts second for Team Kennedy, with Nick Nunn third on the grid in the yellow Team Viking car. Lining up fourth is Rob Perry for the fast-improving Aguacalianti squad, and the third row of the grid comprises former champions Race Logic, with David Denyer in first, and then it's PLR Racing, with Ben Pitch starting sixth. We're just about set to go racing for 4 hours here at Oulton Park. It's round two of the 2019 Fun Cup Championship. It's Team Truman's on pole position in the purple 170 car as the lights go out. Jonathan Hode has got the inside line. Charlie Kennedy alongside him for Team Kennedy, but it's the pole sitter that gets there first. Team Viking tucking in behind in third place as the pack runs through Old Hall Corner. Out wide, Ryan Lewis in the 125 Greensill Motorsport car, but everybody survives. The Blue Race Logic car in fourth. A terrific move from Sean Cooper in the track focused machine to go fifth from eighth ahead of Rob Perry in the Aguacalianti car. On board with Farkini making his way through from the back of the field. If you win the previous race in Fun Cup, you have to start right at the very back of the grid. So the championship leader with work to do here, but already picking up a few positions, heading down then towards the hairpin for the first time in the race, and down the outside of 1, 2, 3 cars he goes, the last of the late breakers. Here are the leaders though, coming over Hilltop for the first time in the race. And here comes Farkini. This is on board with Alan Brown, so he gains another place. He's going to move past the turquoise machine of Alex McLeod. Then round the outside of John King in the Team 7 Fun Bikes car. Now he's trying to go around the outside of the TfL machine of Andrew Bentley. But Andrew's got the inside line for the next part of the Knickerbrook chicane. Through he goes, accelerating up Clay Hill. But this is a lightning start from Farkini. He must have gained half a dozen positions already in this race. As back down towards Lodge, towards the end of lap one, come the top two. It's nose to tail. Charlie Kennedy has a look around the outside, but it's going to be Jonathan Hode in the lead. Kennedy in second. Nick Nunn for Team Viking in third place. Front runners in last year's championship back on board with Alan Brown as he squeezes down the inside of Alex McLeod into Lodge corner. That was a lovely move to gain a place under braking. On to lap 2, Team Truman's lead from Team Kennedy, Viking in 3rd, Race Logic in 4th place, Track Focused in 5th, and then it's Agua Caliente in 6th position as they go back downhill, down towards Cascades, just behind Agua Caliente. You've got the onboard camera, you've got Ellis Hadley for JPR GT Radial, and he now comes down the inside. That's a lovely move from the ex-motorcycle racer to get into the top 6. It's been a very good start to the race for Farkini. He's gone from 26th to 18th. He's still behind the blue and black TFL racing car of Andrew Bentley, though. Andrew in turn is trying to find his way past the Crossacres car. The 222 machine driven by Adrian Watt. He loses 2 places as Farkini follows Andrew Bentley through. They're in 8th place, the pink and black DispatchBay.com team, who are oh so unlucky not to win at Brands Hatch. And there, from 15th up to 9th place, Chris Wetherall for JPR Axiometrics. Now this is a replay earlier in the lap of a terrific move around the outside at Cascades to gain a place on Ben Pitch in the PLR racing machine. Back to the leaders, still nose to tail, and just behind, the Race Logic car of David Denyer was having a look down the inside of Team Viking for 3rd, and I think he's got there as they go up through Deer Leap. Yes, he has. The blue machine up to 3rd place now, down to 4th for the Team Viking car. And just behind them, it's almost side by side in the battle for 5th place. Ellis Hadley in the white JPR GT Radial car having a look around the outside of Sean Cooper for Track Focused. He's got a good run though, coming out of Old Hall Corner and down through the avenue and towards the foot of Cascades they go. Is he going to go for it? I think so. He's got his nose around the outside here. Terrific move. And that puts him back to 5th place now. Oh, and off goes Alan Brown! Bang! Into the barriers for the Team 7 249 car. Yellow flags wave, but Alan has kept the engine running and he's going to get back on track. How much damage though to the back of the car? And the answer is quite a lot. It's got suspension damage, the car is crabbing, it's headed back for the pits. Here's a replay on board with Alan coming out of Old Hall Corner. He just gets a touch wide, the back end gets loose, he oversteers through the corner and smacks into the barriers. Now the safety car has been deployed, not for the Alan Brown incident, but for another crash that we've had. Ryan Lewis has gone off in the Greensill Motorsport car, and a long way suddenly at the back of the field, having had a pretty good start, is the PLR car. Let's find out why. On board with Ben Pitch, this is a replay into the hairpin, and he has a problem with the brakes, goes straight on, and he's headed for a full lap around the international circuit. And we've also had the Crossacre car having a spin down at Knickerbrook and fluid pouring out the front of the car, so it's spun on its own fluid. That's another one that might be headed for the pits. We're back up and running here at Oulton Park. The safety car lasted for 4 laps. Team Truman's lead from Team Kennedy and Race Logic. 4th for Viking, up to 5th place for 2 Rent Dominoes. Chris Hart having a good run here. And that's Farkini in the black Uvio car, screaming up the inside of the DispatchBay.com machine of Andy Bicknell. It doesn't work. He has to slam the brakes on and then loses momentum coming out of the turn and up through Deer Leap. The green and white Apollo Motorsport car of Guy Wenham gets through and gains a place. Now the JPR Axiometrics car, which has had a fine start to the race, driven by Chris Wetherall, has got itself up onto the tail of JPR GT Radial. So Chris has moved ahead of Sean Cooper in the Track Focus machine. Rest of the pack make their way through. There is Farkini in the Uvio car. He's not that far off the top 10 now, having started right at the back of the field. He's 11th in fact, so 15 places gained, and good to see Team 7 getting the 249 car of Alan Brown back into the race, having very quickly dealt with the rear suspension damage after he's off coming out of Old Hall Corner. As the rest of the pack come over Hilltop, and this is David Denyer with a big long hard stare down the inside of Charlie Kennedy. He's late on the brakes, they both go off onto the grass. Kennedy all the way onto the grass. Will he rejoin in front of the Race Logic car? Yes, he holds his position, but it brings closer to them Chris Hart in the white and blue 2 Rent Dominoes car. Now that car's been into the pits, I'm afraid. Eco Racing on their return this year to the championship, having trouble with the car, so Tom Mills a number of laps down already, and Andrew Bentley, who had a good start to the race and had a good battle with Farkini, he's had a trip to the pits as well. He's going to rejoin just in front of the Royal Motorsports car, which also went into the pits just after that safety car period. The Greensill Motorsport car, which brought about the safety car, in for repairs. It's going to be in for quite some time by the looks of things. And into the pits from 4th place, 2 Rent Dominoes. Now that looks like a drive-through penalty. So this becomes the battle for 6th place. Guy Wenham has a big look at the inside and wobbles the car around under braking, but can't find a way past Track Focused. And yes, down into the middle of the pack goes Chris Hart. The drive-through for a start line infringement. Meanwhile, we can now hear from Ryan Lewis.
My rear ball joint went, so wheel folded under the car, and I was a passenger, unfortunately, from there on in. Got a great team of boys here, so the car will be back out again. We're going to have lost 40, 50 laps by then. So, hey, still go out and have a bit of fun.
We just passed 40 minutes into this 4-hour race, and we're into the first pit stop window. Right, Neil Plymmer getting in then, the most experienced Fun Cup racer on the grid. The JPR GT radial car goes back out with Martin Gibson on board, also a very quick peddler, and a very quick stop this for PLR Racing. Now on board with Farkini, and he's drawing alongside Rob Perry in the green Agua Caliente car, and the former powerboat racer can do nothing to prevent the champion coming through. He outbrakes himself a little bit, and you've also got the pink and black car of DispatchBay.com coming around the outside as well, so good move from Andy Bicknell. Meanwhile, the blue Race Logic car driven by David Denyer has come up to second place ahead of Charlie Kennedy in third. Fourth place now for Chris Wetherell, pouncing down the inside of Nick Nunn in the Viking car. Then it's Guy Wenham snapping at his heels. We've still got Team Truman's leading. They're just edging away with Jonathan Hode. This is one of our new teams for the championship this year. Car 207, the Track Life, driven by Michael Blackburn in the first stint. Gary Bate will take over. And with Rory Brown now in the 249 car, we can hear from Dad Allen about his earlier crash.
I made an error coming out of the bend at the end of the straight. I clearly went in too shallow. I got over to the wrong side, and then the car swung around into the barriers on the other side. So, complete driver error. But the car's up and running again, going quite well now. So hopefully my sons will pull some of it back.
In from third place, Charlie Kennedy, about to hand over to teammate Rob Croydon. Out gets Charlie, and it doesn't look like they're going to refuel the car on this stop, so they'll have to refuel it on the next. There is fuel going into DispatchBay.com. That's 16-year-old Riley Phillips taking over from Andy Bicknell, and the Viking car, which has just gone back out with Mark Home aboard, has had an off, so it rejoins, but that's going to lose ground. Good stop for Team Kennedy, so they get back out. And then the DispatchBay.com car rejoins. That's going to be in and around the top 6 as well. Round 2 of the Fun Cup, led by Colin Kingsnorth, who's now in for the second stint for Team Truman's, looking for their first ever win in the championship. And this is the squabble for second place. Henry Dawes for 2 Rent Dominoes down the inside of Chris Double for JPR Axiometrics. That car had a stop-go penalty in the first portion of the race. Fourth position, out wide and a bit ragged though for Fabio Randaccio. But that car from the back of the grid up into fourth place now. Fifth place for Team Race Logic, driven by Julian Thomas. Sixth place for Ryan Burke in the Apollo Motorsport car. Those two running nose to tail as they make their way down towards the avenue. And it's even closer in the battle for 7th. That's Greg Evans for FNS down the inside of Craig Butterworth. These two finished 6th and 7th at Brands Hatch, so a good start to the season. The Team Kennedy car is just behind them. That's dropped back a bit. And this looks like a stop-go penalty for DispatchBay.com. And that's going to put them out of the top 10. Safety car out for the second time in the race here at Oulton Park, and it's right on the second mandatory pit stop window, which means they're all going to come charging in together at the same time to pit under the safety car and lose less time on the track, and it's the race leaders that lead them in. So Colin Kingsnorth out in for the third stint, and his second time in the car is going to get Jonathan Hode. This is Neil Plymmer bringing the PLR racing car back in. These safety cars have got them back in the game as well, the team that finished second at Brands Hatch. This safety car is going to give Team Viking a chance to get back on the tail of the pack as well. Screaming out of the pit box then, but careful to adhere to the pit lane speed limit, the leaders, Team Truman's. And this from fourth place is Farkini back on board now for the championship leaders, JPR Uvio. Up ahead, the 2 Rent Dominoes car has got out in front of them, but nobody else has, so I reckon they're going to be third. Yeah, it's Team Truman's in the lead. Second place for 2 Rent Dominoes, and into third now from the back of the field for JPR Uvio. Well, the cause of that second safety car period was the Crossacre team, who crashed out on circuit. They're safely back in the pits now, and that gives us a chance to hear from 2 Rent Dominoes about their lightning quick pit stop.
We've been practicing pit stops since Brands Hatch because we're a bit short at Brands. Practice them, and it paid off today because we were in and out before anybody knew, really.
The green flag is waved. We're back underway here with an hour and a half gone. The top 4 are still bunched together. On board with Farkini in third. A challenge for the lead of the race just ahead. The race leader dancing all over the place. The back end of the car goes onto the grass. Jonathan Hode still leads, but it's 3 abreast for second place. And Farkini's going to get through. And on the other side of him, Chris Rose, I think, is going to get past Chris Hart as well. Tremendous battle going on here. Just behind them, the second group of cars all together as well. You've got Apollo chased down by Agua Caliente and JPR GT Radial as they go down into Cascades, into the hairpin. Meanwhile, come the top 4. Make that top 5, because Marcus Clutton in the DispatchBay.com car has caught them up as well. Truman's lead from Uvio, from Axiometrics. 4th place for 2 Rent Dominoes, 5th for DispatchBay.com. Battling over 13th place, Charlie Kennedy in the 104 car, under pressure from Ed Bridle in the Team 7 Fun Bikes 195 machine. Back out for the umpteenth time in what's become a test session, I'm afraid, for Eco Racing. So that car goes out, but really spluttering along it has been. Oh no, that's the Team Kennedy car pulling off the circuit with an issue. Charlie Kennedy out of contention. Well, you daren't take your eyes off this race. It's been utterly relentless so far. We're into the fourth stint, and this is the battle for the lead of the race. Two red dominoes, wheel to wheel with Uvio, and it's Henry Dawes who screams at the inside into Old Hall corner. But Fabio Randaccio's got a better run coming out of the corner. He's got the slipstream. He pulls out of the toe. The inside line is going to be with him. He's got his foot in the door here. But Daredevil late on the brakes is Henry Dawes. They give each other just enough room to both get through the corner. But they're still absolutely side by side. It's only the second round of the championship, but this is a really important battle because they're surely going to be key championship contenders, as back at the inside comes Henry Dawes into the hairpin to get the lead of the race. Fantastic racing from both of them, all together, all the way through the first 5-6 corners of the lap. Over the hilltop they come, nose to tail. In the background, Race Logic are in third place. Apollo going well in fourth. In fifth position, it's the former race leaders Trumans, and having a cracking race in sixth place, it's Agua Caliente. So what a battle we've got on our hands here. We've got from the back of the field JPR Uvio that have led. We've had Trumans leading up until this stage, and now we've got two red dominoes with their noses in front. And nose to tail in 7th and 8th, JPR Axiometrics and JPR GT Radial, both having good runs here. They need to, both with mechanical problems which put them out of podium paying positions at Brands Hatch. On board with Neil Plymouth, who's trying to find his way past the 207 Track Life car to lap it. They go wheel to wheel as Plymouth tries to march back up the order. There's contact between them, and the PLR racing car goes off. So too does the Track Life machine. They work their way through the barriers, down the escape road, and rejoin just in front of the Team Viking car. We're heading towards the final round of pit stops, and it's heartbreak again, I'm afraid, for Apollo Motorsport. They had an engine go at Brands Hatch, and it looks like they're out of contention here at Oulton Park. Agua Caliente are in the mix for a podium here. Let's hear now from Matt Hogg before he gets in the car.
The car's fantastic. It's been set up by Solutions Racing, brilliant, and yeah, really going well today. We've got a lot of fast cars around us. It'd be nice to hang on in like the top sort of 6 or 7.
Team Trumans make their final pit stop. They are in from that lead battle. The team has never finished on the podium. They've never won a race. Jonathan Ode jumps out of the car, runs around it to get the fire extinguisher. They're refueling. That is done very sharply by the team, so Colin Kingsnorth gets in for the final stint. Oh, and it looks like an issue for JPR GT Radial, thumping the bonnet. They're struggling to get the fuel in. Out go Team Trumans. That was a cracking stop, even with the refueling. But Race Logic, who've got their noses in front just before the pit stops, the car is being towed back, and that means the safety car is going to bunch them all up again. Right, it's going to be a sprint to the checkered flag. We're back underway, and it's side by side for the lead of the race. And Axiometrics get through. The green machine hits the front for the first time in the race. Christian Rose is followed by Marcus Clatton, who goes second. The Team Truman's car of Colin Kingsnorth down to third, but with JPR Uvio right on his tail, right underneath his rear wing. Fabio Randaccio in for one final push to get on the podium. He's gone down the inside, and up ahead it's synchronised overtaking. A change of lead. Marcus Clatton gets the DispatchBay.com car up ahead. So 2 changes of lead on the restart, and it's DispatchBay.com who hit the front, second place, and with a bit of damage to the car for JPR Axiometrics, third place for Uvio, fourth place now for Trumans, equaling their best result at Brands Hatch, but heartache because they're just off the podium. Damage to the right rear corner of Christian Rose's green machine. He should be able to continue on, but he's got a smoke screen pouring out the back of the car now. It's not going to help matters, that's for sure. And it means that Fabio Randaccio is poised to pounce here on the run towards Druids. Wow, what a move down the inside into the fastest corner on the track to go second from last on the grid. They're going to be the championship leaders, no doubt, because they won the first round of the season, but DispatchBay.com are leading here. They could well have won round 1 at Brands Hatch, but a wheel bearing failure dropped them to 18th, so they need this one. They've already effectively used up their drop score. Now they come over Deer Leap. We've just got a couple of minutes left to go in the race. Marcus Clutton in the 221 car. He's on the inside and he's tight to the corner, but the back end of the car is swinging around. Coming around the outside of him is the Uvio car, who gets on the dust, gets out wide, and into the back of him goes Christian Roses, spins out and hits the barriers here right at the end of the race, and there's damage to the left rear corner. Utter heartache. Here's a replay on board with Fabio Randaccio, went out wide, and as he was getting ragged, Christian Rose had gone out wide as well, clipped the back of him, and at those speeds it was enough to send the JPR Axiometrics car spinning into the barriers. The smoke coming out the back of the Truman's car as well. Oh, they are plummeting down the order, I'm afraid. They're not even going to finish in the top 6 after leading most of this race. Really bad luck for them. And look at this, around the outside into Druids. What a move from Henry Dawes with just over a lap to go to get second place. The defending champion moves ahead of the former championship winning car. And in fourth place, look, it's Steve Walton and Greg Evans for FNS. They're on for their best ever result. Glad to see Christian Rose is okay after a fairly heavy hit, but he'll be absolutely gutted, as will the rest of the team. They've been very, very quick this year. They haven't got the results they really deserve so far this season. What a run this has been, though, for FNS. Just off the podium. Can they get their first podium as they go onto the final lap of the race? Just tailing them back in 7th place. A good run from 15th on the grid for Team 7 Fun Bikes. They need a good result as well after disappointment at Brands Hatch. And here is the battle for 8th place. The Agua Caliente car of Matt Hogg trying to get past the injured car of Team Truman's, and Colin Kingsnorth are behind them. You've got John McLeod, Raw Motorsports, on for their best ever result. Out wide at the hairpin though goes Henry Dawes. He just outbraked himself there, and he gave half a chance to Fabio Randaccio to draw alongside. He's not got there yet. Look at the car, bits hanging off it. It's making it quite a wide car handily at the moment because he's got the inside line. He's just about got his nose in front, and he goes second, clips the curbs on the way through. And this is Matt Hogg trying to get ahead now for 8th place of Team Truman's. Over the hill they come. They're on for their second top 10 finish. On the bounce here, Agua Caliente, Rob Perry and Matt Hogg on the brakes. Into the chicane they come. Back at the inside to at least gain 1 place back is Colin Kingsnorth. Into Lodge Corner for the final time, this battle for second place, but Fabio Randaccio is going to fend off Henry Dawes. The flag is out though, and the win is going to go to DispatchBay.com. Andy Bicknell, Marcus Clutton, and at 16, Riley Phillips becomes the youngest ever Fun Cup winner. What a race. Here's confirmation of the top 10 finishers.
There was a lot of pressure, Uvio and the rest of the guys really kept me hot on my toes. I made my way to the front and then just kept blocking really. Bit old school, a bit like karting really, just keep to the inside, and if they was going to pass me, they was going the long way around. And Uvio made a mistake. As soon as I made a mistake, I just made a run for it. The last 3-4 laps I was just a bit more relaxed then.
It's quite incredible. It all just fell into place today, and yeah, I'm really happy.
The guys have just done a great job with the car. The Track Life's new team, full of experience, and they've provided a race-winning car, as you've seen. It was a race-winning car at Brands as well, but that just escaped us with a bit of contact and a bit of damage on the rear. But about time we won another one. So yeah, pleased.
Well, that was a proper Fun Cup race with a proper Fun Cup finish. We've had 2 races, 2 different winners. I think we've set the tone for 2019. Next up, we head to Croft for round 3. We'll see you there.